Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lookness Monster, joined again with SideQuester, and
Hello.
this is the first episode of the podcast, yet to be named.
Yet to be named
Um, yeah, this is a new format we're trying. Let us know down in the comments what you guys think. But yeah, so the main topic for today will be the top 10 like Black Series turkeys of the year. It's Thanksgiving's a few days away, so we wanted to look at some of the worst Black Series releases this year. You're gonna see a lot of like top 10 best figures, so we wanted to go over the worst. And like I said, I'm joined with my good friend SideQuester here. So do you want to give a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I'm SideQuester. I have a YouTube channel. I do reviews that try not to take themselves too seriously, and I, wrote a book. It's called Adventures in Unemployment. It's about a guy named Oliver that loses everything on Earth and then goes to a mirror world called Wraith and goes on a quest to figure out what the purpose of life is. It's fun, it's funny, and I'm really proud of it. So if you feel so inclined, it's on Amazon. Boom! Adventures in Unemployment. Buy me.
Go check it out. Linked in the description. It's also available on the Kindle store, so go check it out. Highly
Thank you
suggest
so
it. It's a great read. And yeah, so today's topic is Black
gonna be
Series
good.
turkeys. So I've already seen a little bit of your list. You haven't seen any of my list, so it is a controversial subject today.
You said we're gonna fight. So
Oh yeah, throwing hands back and forth the whole time. It's gonna be like Floyd Mayweather like boxing. Like it's gonna be great. Do you want to kick it off with your number 10 spot as the I guess best turkey of the year?
the best of the turkeys.
Best of the turkeys.
So the kind of parameters that we set were that it had to be a figure that was released in 2023. But we didn't necessarily have to own it. I actually had a really hard time finding a list until you were like, "Oh, it's here. It's on Yak Face forums." And sorry, I didn't mean to mimic your voice like that.
Is that how I sound?
Here. You sound like George Lucas.
Actually,
Yeah, I ended up piecing together, eventually figuring out the list. So my first turkey of the year, and I will explain why, because it's actually a really great figure when I've seen it in the store, is the Morgan Elsbeth from Ahsoka. That's my number 10, and the only reason why I did that, two reasons. Nice. Yep. The reasons why I did this: great likeness. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm. The likeness is really good.
She should have had soft goods for the skirt.
Yep.
Because she's got what do you call it? Traffic cone syndrome.
Yeah. Well, so this one, she doesn't suffer from the traffic cone syndrome because they put cuts all through it, and so it's not near as bad.
So that I thought she should have soft goods because I think the vintage collection she has soft goods.
Yep.
And so I don't know. The other thing is there are so many different options for accessories that she could have come with, and they just didn't include them, and I don't know why. There's a few things that are key to the character. I get it. There's certain things towards. Are we talking spoilers?
Yeah.
Here, okay.
It's far enough past.
If you haven't seen Ahsoka by this point, so she could have had the sword. Or if they didn't want to go that route, if they wanted to wait and do a second version where she's got the crazy Night Sister eyes, they could have given her the little the map thing.
Yeah, the little map ball, puzzle ball thing.
Even the map and the base that it sits on for the. You could
have remolded the Beskar spear. You already have that mold. Just throw that in with it. She used it to fight Ahsoka.
Right.
You know?
That's a good point.
I don't know. She is on my list. She's much higher up, though, on my list.
Oh, okay. Well, I put her at the bottom of the list because I was like, okay, as we get up, there's actually characters that I saw flaws with the actual design or execution of. And with that, it's just lack of accessories, and I would have liked soft goods.
My number 10, I gave it to the Magna Guard. This one is visually stunning. It looks great on the shelf, but it's severely underscaled for one. And then the legs just really suck. It's hard to get into a nice pose. The little electro pieces are only on half of the staff.
Yeah, I saw your review on that.
I think it looks great, but it was definitely a big disappointment. Plus the shoulder pads that pop off too, they come off real easy. It's just, I think it's not necessarily a bad figure. It's just I had such high expectations for it, and they didn't meet it.
So sidebar, do you think that, maybe we talked about this in another video, so do you think that characters like Magna Guard should either, one, have less articulation in the legs so that they can actually get in, or they can actually stand up properly, or two, should they come with stands?
Well, so I don't think the problem was the too much articulation. I think it was too little articulation. It definitely needs some kind of like thigh cut right here, or better rockers at the ankles. It needs something there to be able to get it to stand better. But the real problem is just they're loose. The joints are really loose here at the knees and even at like the hips. Really loose joints, and so you have trouble balancing him.
You know, I've noticed that with a lot of figures this year, and I like the fact that they're getting into pinless articulation and that kind of a thing. But I've noticed that almost all the figures that I have that do have the pinless joints, the knees and the ankles end up getting loose a lot faster. I noticed that with the Light Cruiser Luke. So then the Light Cruiser Luke, the Grogu Luke, the 40th anniversary Luke, they all suffer from that. So did my Cal Kestis, which I know you hate.
I don't hate the figure.
the Dark Trooper, even when I got my Ross special, yeah,
I didn't have any trouble with my Dark Trooper.
Really? Wow. Your figures must like you better than mine.
I guess. I don't know. Okay, I think the problem is, though, that they're using like a softer plastic than they used to. And so the harder plastic, it stays a little firmer. But with the softer plastic, it manipulates a little bit better. And so because of that, it gets a little looser.
So my number 9... I think you have this one. I didn't get it specifically because of this. Is the 40th anniversary and then the TBS re-released version.
Oh, I do have that one, yeah.
Of Return of the Jedi Chewbacca.
Let me grab that one real quick, actually.
Hey, Luke, when you watch this back, you can laugh at my voice.
I don't have my headset on, so I can't hear you. I just hear a very faint Cartman.
I know, but you'll hear it when you go to do the edit. That's the joke.
I'm totally keeping that in the final cut.
Good. You'll laugh when you see it. It's a great looking head sculpt. Body, still the reuse of the body, it still suffers.
Yeah, still the crappy old Chewbacca we've gotten since 2014.
Right, and the bandolier. I mean, look. Yeah, I remember that from the Rise of Skywalker or the Last Jedi, whichever one that where he had the kind of double wrapped.
That was Solo.
Was it?
That he had the double.
Oh yeah, because he had the goggles. Oh yeah, that's why I bought it. It's because of the goggles. But it's so scene specific. Mm-hmm. It just seems like a waste of character. A waste of a slot in an assortment. It should have been an exclusive with a brand new Bausch Leia, and then the Bausch Leia gets a single card release on her own, and boom, that's what would have made sense to me. And then just come out with a regular version of Chewbacca with the hair parted down the middle. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I think that would have been a better use of the slot. But
so I'll tell you why I like this figure.
Okay.
It is very scene specific, but it's one that you specifically need this figure if you want to do that scene, and that is the Jabba's palace scene. It's a display that I really been wanting to do. I just got Jabba in the line now, and I don't have a slave Leia, and so if I don't have a slave Leia, it means I have to have Bouche Leia in there. And so if I have Bouche Leia in there, I need this version of Chewbacca to go with her. Now a version of Ula to go in next to Jabba would be ideal, but
always gotta come back to Ula.
we need it. No Ula, no Mula. But yeah, so it's one of those where it's very scene specific, but it's one of those. I think it's a necessity for any Jabba's palace display, and so they already have 3 different versions of that Return of the Jedi / Empire Strikes Back Chewbacca. So why waste that slot on a re-release when you could get a new mold like this that is necessary for some displays? My number 9. This one is really controversial, and I'm gonna get a bunch of hate comments for it. But it is another Wookiee. Just from everyone. It's another Wookiee.
No,
Black Chrysanthemum.
dude.
Yeah. Yep.
Why?
His articulation is horrendous.
Oh,
Okay, again, this is kind of like the Magna Guard. It looks visually stunning.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those where the articulation kind of sucks. Like, he can't get 90 at the elbows. I think that's a necessity for any Black Series figure. It needs to get 90 at the elbows, and he can't do that. The legs are just okay. I think he could barely hit 90 at the legs. I think the paint apps and the sculpt is great, but the articulation is just not there for me.
Okay.
And so because of that, he made my list. It's one of those where if he was like the main character of the show and I was getting him to put on display like that, maybe he wouldn't have made the list. But I really only bought this guy to stand next to Boba and Finnick. You know, that's the only reason I really needed him. I think the Book of Boba Fett show was good, but it's one of those where, again, like Black Chrysanthemum, I really only got to put next to Boba. So,
I hear you on the articulation. Yeah, the way I wanted to go back and watch the episode where he's holding his blaster because I wanted to. I wanted to see if he does hold the buttstock of the rifle like under his armpit kind of a thing, or if he holds it over the top.
It's definitely not a bad figure. I appreciate what it's supposed to be, and I think I really like it as like I said, a figure to stand next to Boba Fett. It looks pretty dang good, but I just feel like it's not a modern day articulated figure. And I think that's why it made my list. I know a lot of people are gonna have that on their best figure list, but it's on my worst.
Okay, so my number 8, and this might be controversial.
Okay.
And I have my reasonings. Is the Gaming Greats Battle Damage General Grievous?
Not controversial at all.
He's undersized for one, and they keep using the same mold. I get it, of course they're going to do that, and I know it's accurate to the game that he doesn't have the cape, but he costs $10 more than he did when he initially came out, and he comes with less,
and he also doesn't have the blaster either that he came with.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah. I was focused on the soft goods, but I don't have Grievous anymore. I did a purge of all of my prequel figures except for my Obi-Wans and my clone troopers.
See his red cape there from when he fell over?
He fell over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that you're probably onto something with the idea that they're going to come out with a new version.
I really hope so, because that one that we got sucks.
And I think maybe now that we're getting to the point where the fans are used to paying more for better quality figures, like the Starkiller set, Malgus, and even the 40th anniversary Republic Commando, or not Republic, the Rebel Commando from Return of the Jedi, with the face swap and everything. We're getting used to paying extra for higher quality or more accessories or whatever. So if they came to the table with like a $40 General Grievous that was scaled properly, would you buy it?
I mean, I'd buy it to review. I think it depends. If it's like a really, really good figure, it's worth $40. Because I mean, Malgus is what, $37, and he's a really good figure.
$33.99.
I thought he was $36.99.
Nope. Depending on where you go, if you,
I think retail he's $36.99. He might be clearance.
No, I think because he's the same
let me
price
go to
as
GameStop here.
He's the same price as
Let me pull him up.
what came out earlier this year. That was $33.99. Isn't
Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum? Well, I buy all my stuff like warehouse deals to get it cheaper, but Chrysanthemum. Yeah, that $33.99 price point. The Rebel Trooper.
Rebel Trooper almost made my list because of the price. $33.99 is crazy for that. I figure. I think it's a good looking figure, but it's not 33. It should be a $29.99 figure. No, it should be a $24.99 figure. $29.99 is pushing it. 34 is crazy, bonkers. That's why I haven't bought it yet. I still don't own it. So
I'm not.
It almost made my list.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive. It's such a great figure.
I'm sure it's a great figure, but it's not $34.99 worth.
Well, that's why you buy non-mint on Entertainment Earth or warehouse deals on Amazon, and you get it for like 30% off.
You're right. Malgus is $33.99.
I thought so. I'm trying to remember what else came out this year that was that.
Was it? It's interesting though, because Wrecker, season 2 Wrecker from the Bad Batch, he's actually a bigger figure than the season 1 version. He's like not significantly, but it's like noticeably like he's a bigger character, and he was only $26.99, $27.99.
Yeah, I think Walmart maybe stepped in and was like, "Yeah, we'll take them, but you got to bring the price point down." There's a lot of paint apps on those figures. I'm kind of surprised.
Oh yeah, the season 2 figure surprised me for sure. One of them made my top 10 of the year. Actually, I won't tell you which one, but you probably know because you were there when I opened him.
I'm looking forward as much to the top 10 list as I am to destroying each other's hopes and dreams and with our turkeys.
Anyway, my number 8. That's what we're on, number 8, right?
Correct.
My number 8 is Din Djarin. I don't own this one. This is the like Stormtrooper disguise one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think throw the helmet on. It's a good looking like cover tank pilot. I think that's the only reason I'd buy it. But as a Din Djarin figure, it just kind of sucks. Like, I mean, I think it's a good way for people who didn't buy that build-up pack to get a Din Djarin face sculpt.
And it's a different face sculpt, isn't it?
It is, yeah, brand new face sculpt for him. But it's just not great.
And they still didn't get it right.
And it's one of those where if you're gonna do that, just give me a Mando with a removable helmet. I don't want the Stormtrooper disguise one. You know, it's one of those where Hasbro sees cheap figure repaint and they do cheap figure repaint. So, I mean, I think it's an important part of the character, and I think that's a great moment for him in the TV show to, like, you know, when he removes the helmet in front of the people there. But I just don't need a figure of it.
Again, that's one of those that, with it being so scene specific, could have been an exclusive somewhere.
Yeah.
Target, Walmart, whatever.
Definitely should not have been mainline.
It could have been a 2-pack with the MiG.
Now, if it was a MiG's Din Djarin 2-pack and it was like an Amazon Target exclusive, pretty dang cool. I would have liked that.
That would make sense to me.
Yeah.
I think you're going to start seeing a lot of that. I know I sound like a broken record with, the change is coming. I see it. Like, it does.
Yeah. They're doing a lot more multi-packs, which I love too, because I love multi-packs. So something that the Black Series has been severely missing since Red Box.
and I think what it is that, you know, now we've gotten used to the price of a $25 action figure being the standard, and then the premium being 28, 30, 33. So yeah, I that Din Djarin made my list, but he made it a little bit further up because he looks like he got punched a bunch of times in a boxing match.
Yeah.
But my number 7 is the Magna Guard. I don't actually have it. I'm basing this solely off of your opinion and your reviews. I think it looks neat. I didn't know it was undersized until I saw your review of it.
I didn't either until I had it in hand and put it next to Grievous and everyone else.
Maybe they made him so he would size well with
Grievous. That's my theory. Is they made him small on purpose so he looked good next to Grievous.
Well, I was going to say Balin's skull because they made him about the same time, but
well, he's taller than Balin. The Magna Guard is like, I don't know what centimeters taller than Balin. I don't know because on the side of the box it says he is 6.2 inches tall, where Balin is 6 exactly.
Wow. So
yeah, the Magna Guard is taller than Balin, and the Magna Guard's still underscaled.
So Balin would have made my list if he had an official release this year.
My number 7 was also the Gaming Greats Grievous. Underscaled figure. I thought the battle damage was just crappy too. Like, if you're gonna there's 2 different variants from Battlefront 2 that have battle damage. One of them is like missing half of the like head, and I see his like brain and everything, which is super cool. That's what I wanted to see. But instead, you just gave him some like scorching, and that was it. I'm like,
is it even a different sculpt, or is it just
exactly the same sculpt? It's just different paint, just some paint that changed it. So, and then missing the cape and the blaster. Not worth the money, so
can't do it.
Anyway, what was your number 6?
All right, my number 6, Tala from Obi-Wan Kenobi.
She didn't make my list, actually.
Really?
I don't own the figure.
I don't either. I haven't even seen it in person because the ones I've seen in store are in the plastic-free packaging. So all I've seen are the renders. I get it that you wanted to have the female Imperial officer buck to be able to use down the line. I think if they were going to make a Tala figure, they should have made her in her like Jedi escape costume.
I
with her hair down. Like, it would have made more sense. She's a great actress. She's been in lots of cool stuff, and that's where most of her scenes are. All she does is like walk around. Maybe she shoots the blaster a couple times.
I mean, I guess I could agree that the normal Tala would have been nice, but it's one of those where I wasn't going to buy the figure anyway, so I'd much rather them sculpt that female officer body, and like worst case, you can just have her as a background female officer.
Right.
So I think I don't dislike the figure. I mean, it's got a new torso. I think the biggest problem is I think the arms and the legs are both reuse from the standard officer. And
the
I think
male officer?
Yeah, both the arms and the legs are reused.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong about the arms, but the arms looked very similar.
But again, this could have been an exclusive set that had the he's in the Jabeem outfit by this point, right? The gray. Yeah, he's in the gray outfit on.
I want to say he is. Yeah.
So her in the Imperial outfit, Jabeem Obi-Wan, and Leia, 3-pack.
Yeah.
$75-$80. There you go, done. And then have a regular version. If you're going to come out with that figure, have the regular version be in the assortment. So how about yours? What do you got? Number 6.
Number 6. This one's another controversial one. Number 6. Return of the Jedi Vader.
No.
Yeah.
No. Shut off the live stream. I'm leaving.
I really love the idea of this figure. The helmet, though. What's Vader without his helmet?
Mm.
And it's not even the fact that the helmet doesn't fit. Like, if they sold it without the helmet, I still would have bought it. But it's the fact that they advertised it with the helmet being able to fit right, and it doesn't. That just really puts it down. It's one of those where I think I bought this figure for the removable helmet. I wasn't planning on having the helmet on it anyway. But the fact that the helmet doesn't fit on the actual head, like the sculpt of the head is incredible. Yeah. One of the best like Black Series heads we've ever gotten. The brand new torso, brand new arms, I believe. Like great sculpting for this figure, and it just didn't. Without like this could have been the best Vader ever if the helmet fits, and it doesn't.
I almost wish with that specifically is that maybe the head would have been removable, and the top part of the helmet would have pegged in to the ball joint and kind of like met the collar, so you'd get the effect of it.
But it's the collar that didn't fit anyway, though.
Well, but I'm saying, like, if you had the helmet where it kind of
yeah,
tapers down and it plugs in to where the head should be, then it would look seamless. And yeah, I agree. He didn't make my list because I think the benefit to having a removable helmet Vader outweighs the not having it match up. And I was actually able to get mine to line up, so that was you're, oh man, I can't believe you just did that to me. My number five my number five is Omega.
This is one that I cannot believe you put on this list. Season 2 Omega is a good figure.
Okay, maybe
it is a good figure.
I perhaps there is a little bit of resentment carried over from season 2 of Bad Batch.
That's valid. I feel that.
I liked her being the moral compass, the moral center of the team in season 1. In season 2, she really just kind of orders all the guys around.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're gonna do. And it's like,
we're gonna go on a treasure hunt. What?
Right. And like that. And then at the worst possible moment, she's like, oh, should I do the sensible thing or completely mess everything up? And so that could possibly be, I saw that figure in the store and I was like, no.
So I will say this, I like the Omega figure. I think the sculpt is cool. I think the little helmet hat thing she comes with is cool. But she also comes with the normal head, which fits onto the season 1 Omega perfectly, and it doesn't have the medallion that the season 1 version has that she wore for like 2 minutes.
Okay.
And so that's one reason why I really like the season 2 version. And plus, she also has like the folded up bow that she fits on her back rather than the really expanded bow. Mm-hmm. It's one of those where it's a really big bow and she looks wonky holding it. So I'd much rather have it like folded up on her back rather than as like a big, I think she looks kind of stupid holding it. So I don't really want to display it with it, but
I still can't justify that for the price. Maybe she has the extra head, so that's cool, but
I don't know. It's definitely not one of the worst figures of the year in my opinion. I think it's okay. It's mediocre. I think
it's the worst.
My number 5 is pretty simple, not too controversial. It's Merrick, whatever you want to call him.
Why?
I think.
Why?
I think the sculpt is great. It's the paint. It's like a really bright gray color with way too much rust. It just doesn't look like how it looked in the show. And I understand they probably based it off concept art and behind the scene photos. And it probably looks great compared to that. But compared to what we actually saw in the show, it doesn't hit the mark. Mm-hmm. And so because of that, it's one of those where I see a lot of people defending it because they're like, well, you can easily give it a dark wash. You can easily paint it up and it's perfect. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to paint it. I shouldn't have to paint it.
True.
So
it seems like the kind of the rust effect is like a masked paint application as opposed to just doing like a wash over it.
Yeah.
Would you have rather seen it just be straight gray plastic, or would you have rather seen it be with kind of just a dry brushing, quick dry brushing over it?
I would have rather seen it like matte black, not gray. I think because it's almost like a knight armor, and like a black knight armor with like the jet black look is super cool. It's one of those where like that's not accurate to the show, but it looks so much cooler than the rusty gray one. So I don't know.
That's fair. My number 4 is the HK Assassin, the second one.
The second one.
The one that doesn't have the visor painted.
Yeah. That one was also on my list as well.
It's just most of the figures, when I walk in to a store, I see them and I'm like, oh wow, like, you know, they might not be something that I'm into that I want to buy, but at least I can appreciate them for like the look, the styling, the accessories, or whatever. It's neat that that it comes with the little cloak thing, but just every time I've seen it multiple times because in my area nobody's buying it. It's it looks like it's a paint error. It looks like it's a mistake.
It really does.
And so yeah, I mean it's one of those where like if they ended up on super clearance, it might be worth getting to do a custom job of it. But it reminds me of there's a company that does 3 3/4 inch boss fight studios. They do 3 3/4 inch figures. They've got a whole line of them, but they also come out with blanks where they're just cast in one color, and then you can do whatever you want. Yeah, the figures are completely bust apart, so you can mix and match and paint and do whatever. And this looks like it was meant to be. Yeah, it's like a like paint your own action figure. And anyway, that's all I have to say about it. How about yours?
I could agree with that. My number 4 is one we already talked about. It is Morgan, for the same reasons. I think the likeness is great, but just the lack of accessories. She could have come with the Beskar spear. She could have come with the sword, witch hands. There's so much she could have come with, and for the price with no accessories, it just kind of feels like a easy way out.
It was part of the reason why I think the sales of Rogue One toys. Did your light fall again?
Yeah, it did. It always does.
It's gonna be just like a standard thing. If it doesn't happen in every episode,
it stood up for most of the day too. Yeah,
and I think that the Rogue One characters, in the same way, we start to invest our care in these characters. We start to relate to them. We want to see where they're going next, and then they just get the rug pulled out from under them. And I think that that's one of the things that really hurt Rogue One sales. Like, all the characters died, and so had the characters survived,
I think that's a discussion for another time, because we can definitely go in depth about the end of Rogue One. But I think they had to die.
I think I need to jot that down in my notes for a whole episode on did they need to die. So my number 3 is I actually did the Din Djarin. So now there's too many Maroks, and so Morak, Din Djarin, not Merrick, the Rusty Jedi Knight. I
just the same reasons, kind of like it's.
Yeah, he looks like the build-up pack with the Mando with a removable helmet didn't look that great, but I liked it better than this. It doesn't even look like Pedro Pascal to me. So
yeah, I could agree.
And then I don't like that they're using old bodies with pinned legs. I let it slide with the Darth Vader because it's covered up, but I try to make it a point not to buy figures that have pinned legs, except for the Mara Jade and the Jango or the Pre Vizsla. Wow, I just totally undid my entire argument right there. How about you? What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Jesse.
Why?
The helmet. Easy. The helmet is horrendous. It's the ARC Trooper helmet. Should be Phase 2. They could have easily done the Phase 2, and they did the ARC Trooper helmet, and it sucks.
Is it because his chin sticks out?
No, it's because I threw that helmet, and I genuinely have no clue where it went.
You're never going to find it. At least it didn't land in the back of your detail.
But like without the helmet, it's great. Like without the helmet is a 10 out of 10 figure. But the helmet, it sucks. So there's not much else to it. I've talked about it many times on the channel before, how I hate that. Anyway, what's your number 2?
Number 2, um, Luthen Real. I got the figure. I loved the character in the show, but as soon as I got it open, I mean, the face sculpt is great. He has little like waggly wrinkles on his neck and everything. Like it's great.
Mm-hmm.
But he's arms down by his side character. Like the way he's sculpted, if you put his arm up, it just looks ridiculous. Like the way that the sleeve falls, it doesn't make sense at all. Should have been soft goods. Should have been soft goods, and then they could have done two different versions. They could have had the version where he has the jacket on and have that be like the main line. They could have done another version where he has no jacket, and then maybe it comes with the Cassian, or I don't know if you would do his assistant on Coruscant. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But soft goods jacket, like that character is built for that, and it would work a lot better than say the Jabim Obi-Wan or the Jedi Legend Obi-Wan, where they tried to make the jacket, or they tried to make the robe soft goods and make it accurate to the look of the show, but in doing so, it doesn't sit right.
Yeah,
like you could make that jacket on Luthen, and it would have been in my top 10. How about you? Number two?
Number two, I have the same genre from Andor. I have Bix.
Really?
Just don't care about the character. I think it's a great sculpt, but should not have been a mainline spot. Like most of that wave just was kind of not good. Kind of cheeks. Kind of just flew under my radar. I don't.
Is that your Andor radar? Your Randar?
My Randar. Yeah. I don't care about the character. She wasn't in it very much, not near as much as Luthen, and just took up a mainline spot. Like I don't ever plan on buying the figure. She's kind of just in normal clothes too. Like it's just number one.
My number one. You're gonna hate me.
Alrighty, guys, that's gonna do it for the pod.
You know it's coming. Hera, man.
Bonkers. That's your number one.
You're
the worst figure of the year. Your main turkey of the year is Hera.
Have you seen her in person?
Not in person, but I've seen other reviews of her, and the face looks fine. I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say the face is wonky. You need to send me those photos too, so I can include them in this, so you can prove your point.
Uh-huh.
But I think that's just some bad quality control, and I don't think everyone looks like that, even though you just got a bad batch.
There, maybe the two that I saw and the pictures that I've seen were just bad renders. There was a term that got thrown around when I used to work in TV. The term is diaper face, where it looks like she just looks like she's got a loaded diaper. Like that's her. She's got kind of like jowly looking things. The sculpt.
I think that's just the actress. I don't.
No, she's very attractive. She's a great actress.
I think the likeness, at least from the glam shots they released, the figure look the likeness looks incredible from the glam shots. Now, obviously, the quality control of how they actually released that is different.
It looks very similar to the HK Assassin.
No, it does not.
It does. I promise you.
It does not.
There is no texturing. It looks like her pants are like latex. They're just
because her pants are all one color. If you look at her, like the shirt she's wearing and her jacket, that all has different color paint on it. It's got paint all over it.
Is a bigger problem with, I think, a lot of stuff that we're seeing is on a lot of the Disney Plus shows, their outfits look like brand new. It's like, oh, we just bought this at Nordstrom's and we're gonna wear it on an adventure.
But I was gonna say, that's not a figure problem though. That's the character design problem, not the figure though.
It carries over to the figure. That's why I don't like it. Number one.
I don't know.
Number one turkey. Hera Syndulla.
My number one turkey you already mentioned. It's the HK Assassin.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that one just, it looks horrible. It looks like a prototype. There's no paint on the head at all. The cloak looks kind of crappy. It doesn't come with the right staff. It has like a blaster instead of a staff. Overall, it just looks like it needed like another 2 months of designing the figure, and they're just like, well, Ahsoka's out now, so we're just gonna release it as is. And it, like, at this point, buy the old HK-87 and just swap the cloak, and it's much better. Like, the red is a bright cherry red when it should be like a maroon burgundy color.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the wrong, everything about it sucks. So.
Yeah, the HK Assassin to me is very similar to the Hera Syndulla, and
dude, no way. I'm gonna buy this figure right now, and I'll prove you wrong. I'm gonna review it.
Get one free.
I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5. It's gonna be the best figure of the year. I'm gonna get the actress to come on and like talk about how good the figure is. Let me know down in the comments what you guys would pick for your turkeys. And yeah, as you can see, we had a pretty controversial discussion here, but I'd love to see what you guys think. So let me know down in the comments, and let me know what you guys think of this video format. Do you like this better as a podcast or as a live stream?
Most importantly, let us know which one of us was more correct.
Was better? Yeah. I mean, like, should I post a poll in the comments? Like, you guys can vote for whose is better?
You know you're going to win.
Because mine's better. I don't have Hera as number one.
Just wait until you see her.
I'm going to buy 2 of her now, just to spite you. Anyway, that's going to do it for this podcast. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, go check out SideQuester's channel. Also, go check out his book. Both are linked in the description. And we'll see y'all in the next one.